Today, the United Nations revealed the true face of Hamas.
Israeli soldiers appeared resolute for the first time on the streets of Gaza. The Israeli general, who authorized the raid on identified targets, reiterated his determination to capture and neutralize all targets in Gaza. Fierce clashes persisted in the evening, escalating in intensity. Israeli special forces breached the core of Hamas operational and intelligence units entering from the northwest of the Gaza Strip, specifically from the coastline. They successfully cleared the Sheikh Ride Van neighborhood. Soldiers that landed south of al-Nasser launched unexpected raids on nearby buildings after 10 hours of intense fighting. Hamas terrorists heavily fired upon the raiding parties, resulting in significant casualties. Faced with two separate angles of attack, terrorists were compelled to evacuate the area. Israeli forces advanced via al-Nasir and Salar Kala streets to clear the Ship Irvan area. Units moving from these streets eventually reached Salar Kala, where they took control. During cleanup operations, the teams searched for possible underground tunnels. Israeli forces seized control of Hamas's primary weapons production and storage facility, revealing Iranian support for manufacturing weaponry. The search operations also uncovered another Hamas headquarters on Al-Makosi Street. During the cleanup, raiding teams discovered 8 rocket launcher ramps and 14 subterranean tunnels in the area. Israeli forces destroyed Hamas's storage facilities and raw materials for weapon production. The battle continued in the Hamas military district, where hundreds of terrorists were hiding. The 162nd Division's infantry, armored and engineering troops cleared the region, neutralizing at least 300 terrorists. Following this, major confrontations erupted among units supporting the area. The Nahale Brigade advanced on Hamas's military district, locating the station known as Jus's 17th Post and successfully clearing the area. The brigade reached the frontline units, allowing Israeli forces to advance into the Ash-Shot camp region. Reinforcement forces moving towards Ahmed Orain encountered fierce resistance, with terrorists fighting back from 3 different directions. Israeli forces are making significant efforts to eliminate the yellow zone south of 10th Street. Units advancing from the central Gaza Strip are moving towards the Alba sector, utilizing armored vehicles due to the barren terrain. However, terrorists opened heavy fire from structures northeast of the forested region in an attempt to halt the Israeli advance. In response, Israeli forces retaliated by moving in 2 different directions towards the occupied buildings. Meanwhile, additional assault forces began moving into Al-Quba's western districts. Israeli forces aim to sweep the region south of W. Alara Saint. The units at the western end of the corridor made good progress, advancing to the intersection of Al-Rashed Street and Ahmed Orabi Saint. To minimize casualties, Israeli forces withdrew to the port area after severe terrorist strikes. Consequently, units initially moving as a single force started advancing with multiple forces toward the port area junction. Clashes occurred on Al-Saint and Al-Rashid Saint. Despite continuous efforts by Israeli troops and Jerusalem brigades, terrorists, attacking from several directions, resorted to using mortars to target the column of armored vehicles on Al-Rashid Street. The terrorists' objective was to force a retreat, but the Israeli battalion's significant presence thwarted their attempts. Following the bombardment, terrorists took refuge in buildings east of the Israeli soldiers' deployment site. After heavy casualties, the militants withdrew, and operations to clear residential neighborhoods east of the region of terrorists were initiated by Israeli units. The northern portion of Shawa Street has been successfully secured. This strategic advancement helps avoid ambushes on the rear lines, reinforcing the coastal area. In a significant development, one of Hamas's top commanders, Ibrahim Abu Maxim, was found in the western portion of the Burej refugee camp region. Warplanes targeted his hiding location, neutralizing him.